Welcome, so buddies. My name is Precious, but my students call me Auntie P. Welcome to Sew with Auntie P. On today's tutorial, we'll be drafting our basic bodies pattern. So now our basic bodies pattern is like a foundation on which every other pattern is built on, so it is very important. So these are the measurements we'll be using today. We're using the shoulder 15 divided by 2, the bust, which is a circumferential measurement, 36 divided by 4, which is 9. Now remember, every circumferential measurement, that is any measurement measured around your body, that goes around your body. Examples of such measurements are your bust, your hip, and your waist. You measure them round the body, so you always divide them by 4. So your bust divided by 4, 36 divided by 4 gives us 9. Our half length, which is our half length measurement, our waist. If you need more to know more on how to take all these measurements, there is a link down in the description box. I'll drop a video here where you can go and watch how to take all these body measurements and how we took them, to watch and see how they are being taken, so that you take them accurately. Because once your measurement is right, your pattern will come out right, and then your garment will come out amazing. But once your measurement is wrong, your pattern will come out wrong and the garment will never fit. So go and watch how to take this body measurement perfectly, and then we are good to go. Now the back length measurement, the hip measurement, circumferential measurement, which is 40 divided by 4, which is 10. Our across back measurement, you know where your across back measurement, if you watch the measurement video. Across chest measurement, our bust span, our bust point divided by 2, because it's on half of the front, so we're dividing it by 2. It is not a circumferential measurement. So these are the measurements we are using today. You can write them down on your pattern. I don't always like writing my measurements on my pattern. I just like to have them somewhere, so as I'm drafting, I can be relating to it and be checking it and see that it's correct and accurate. So let's go into making the pattern using this measurement. So the first thing you're going to measure here is from the edge of your paper. Please make sure your tape rule is balanced. I'm using a black marker pen today. So from the edge of your paper, pattern paper, place it very well and make sure your tape rule is relaxed. Measure the half length measurement, which is in this case is 17 inches. So whenever you were trying to get a straight line, always measure at least in 2 positions, in 2 points, so that when you are linking it will be correct. Don't just measure at one spot and expect to get a straight line. Sometimes your hand might bend or tilt, but when you have up to 2 points at least, it helps to guide you on where you are supposed to rule. Now after measuring from this point to your half length measurement, the next thing you measure is, I always draft my back pattern first. Please note, I always draft my back pattern first. So we are drafting the back. So I know the half length is for the front, but you will understand as we go. So you take your half length measurement. After taking your half length measurement, if you can see in the measurement here, we have the back length measurement. So the back length measurement is 15. Now you come on this half length line, place your 15 inches wherever it stops at the top, mark it, measure another line. Remember what I said about marking at least 2 points so that you can get a straight line. Then you rule. Now after inches up from this line, this is where it stops. So measure it at least 2 points so that you can get a straight line. Now when you draw that straight line, this is your shoulder line. This line will help you get your neckline and your shoulder line. Now after getting your shoulder line, on the shoulder line, come to the edge of the paper and measure 3 inches. I hope you can see this. From the edge of the paper, 3 inches. Mark 3 inches. When you mark 3 inches, come down by 1.5. Okay, now after you come down by 1.5, Your 1.5, you come in with your curve and you connect from that shoulder line the 3-inch point to the 1.5. So here is 1.5 and here is 3 inches. Okay, so this is your neck, back neck. I hope you can see that. Now after measuring this, our shoulder here is 15 inches divided by 2, which is 7.5. Now 7.5 from this point, 7.5, you've already taken out 3 inches on this shoulder line. You are left with 4.5. 7.5 minus 3 is 4.5. Now you come down on this line and measure 1 inch. Okay, 1 inch. So now after measuring 1 inch, you now rule. You rule from this neck edge to that 1 inch. So after ruling the 1 inch, you come and measure your 4.5 from the neck edge to where it stops. Now where that 4.5 stops, that is your shoulder. Okay, so that is your shoulder measurement. Now to get our other horizontal lines, you come from that 15 inches back length line that we measured. To get our bust line, divide the line into 2. You have 15 inches. Divide 15 inches into 2 gives you 7.5. Now 7.5, add 1 to it, come down by 1, okay, or add 1 to the upper part, which will give you 8.5. Like what I said, when you are drawing a straight line, always measure at least 2 points so that when you are ruling, you can get a straight line. So after getting your bust line, which is dividing your back length measurement into 2, which is 15 inches plus 1 inch, so you have 8.5 on the upper part and then you have 6.5 on the lower part. Okay, now after that, you now come and still divide this shoulder to the bust line, divide it into 2. Now when you divide it into 2, you're going to have 4.25. Like I always said, always mark at least 2 points so that your lines would be straight. So after you mark the 4.25, rule your line. Now this line is your across back line. Is your across back line. That is this one. Okay, this measurement, your across back. So after measuring your across back, the next horizontal line that we need to measure before we start fixing in our measurements is our hip line. I'm trying so that you can see. So now from your waistline, for basic adults, basic measurements is 8 inches. So from the waistline, you measure 8 inches to get your hip line. Always rule at 2 points so that you can get a straight line. I won't stop emphasizing that because your lines need to be straight. If your lines are not straight, your pattern will not be straight, and then when you place it on your garment, your fabric to cut, it will not be straight. So now this is our hip line, okay, for our basic body. So now that we have all our horizontal lines in place, we can now start inserting our measurements. Okay, so now the first measurement we are inserting is our across back measurement. From our measurement here, we can see that our across back length is 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. so you are measuring 6.5 on this across back line. Okay, you're measuring your 6.5 on the across back line. Now after measuring your 6.5 on the across back line, your bust line, our bust measurement is 36 divided by 4 is 9. You measure your 9 inches and then you add ½ inch for ease. Okay, so this is 1/2 inch, which is for ease. Okay, so now we've inserted our bust measurement. The next measurement we are inserting is our hip measurement, not the waist measurement. So we'll get the waist measurement now. We insert our hip measurement. Our hip measurement is 40 divided by 4, and that will give us 10. So we'll come on the hip line and then we'll measure our 10. Okay, now after measuring 10, you're not adding ease to the hip line. We're not adding ease to the hip line. The reason why we add ease to the bust is, as a lady, sometimes your garments, you cannot tell. Sometimes our bust is fuller, right, when we are ovulating or when we are on our periods, and sometimes our bra. So it is always better to have a little bit of ease on your bust, so that anytime you wear the clothes, it fits. So always remember to add your 1/2 inch ease on your bust line. Then after you've gotten that, you connect the bust line and the hip line in a straight line. Okay, so now after connecting your hip line and the bust line together, now let's go into shaping our armhole. Now you bring in your set square and you get your angle 90. Now, following this across back measurement, make sure your set square is flat on the bust line and the point is aligning with your across back line. Now connect the shoulder line to the bust line in a straight line. I hope you saw that. Now after connecting that, you come in with your armhole curve, and then you first of all you connect the across back by arranging your curve so that it would align. Now connect your across back line to the bust line that way. Now you now come back and align the ruler, the curve ruler, to be able to connect your shoulder point to your across back line. I hope you saw how I did it. It's that simple, and you will see how beautiful it came out. So if you do it patiently, you will get it right. Okay, so now we are going to we are done our shoulder, done our back neck, done our armhole, we've aligned, gotten all our measurements. Now we've still not gotten our waist measurement. So now I'm going to change the marker so that we can have another color. So now we'll be placing our darts and aligning to get our side seam and then our center back too. So now we'll continue with our measurements. The first thing is our bust span measurements. Our bust point measurements. Bust point is 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So now you will come on your bust line. This is our bust line. You will measure your 3.5. You place it there. You come to the hip line. You measure your 3.5 and you place it there. Now using your straight ruler, connect the 2 points. Remember what I said about connecting 2 points to get a straight line. So after connecting the 2 points, the 2 line, which is at the bust line and the hip line, you now come in with your tape. You measure the space you have from your side line here to this edge of the paper here. Now if you look closely, we have, I hope you can see this closely, we have, I'll be using 9 3/4. Is almost 9/7/8 here, but it's not up to, so I'll be using my 9 3/4. Now like I said, 9 3/4, I'm going to write it down here, 9 3/4. If you look at my waist measurement here, the waist measurement here is 7.5. So if you subtract 7.5 from this 9 3/4, what do you have left? You're going to have 2 1/4 inch. 2 1/4 inch. That's what you're going to have. 2 1/4 inches. So after having this now, so how do you spread the 2 1/4 inch to be able to get your dart, get your side seam, and still contour your center back? Now the first thing first you're going to do is you come to your waistline at the center back side and you measure 1/2 inch. Okay, you measure 1/2 inch. If you subtract 1/2 inch from 2 1/4, you have 1 3/4 inch. This is what we have initially, 2 1/4. If I subtract 1/2 inch, I have this 1 3/4. So how do I share 1 3/4 for my dart leg and my side seam? Now we have 1 3/4. I'll come here, I'll place my 3/4 inch, and then I'll come to the bust point leg on the waistline, and I'll measure 1/2 and 1/2. So I have 1 inch here together, and I have 3/4 here, and I have 1/2 here. I hope you understand. So now let's connect them to where they are supposed to be. Now using my tape, this is to help you contour your back, your center back. Your back is not in a straight line, so you're always supposed to contour your back so that you don't have your garment hanging straight and not following the shape of your body. So from the half I took on the waistline here, I'm going to rule it to my across back points. Okay, did you see that? I hope you saw that. And then to the hip line, I'm going to rule from that waistline to meet the hip line, like it's going to finish up at the hip line. Now the dart, I'm going to connect from the waistline up to this point, connect this to this point, connect this down here, and connect this down here. Now from this on the side seam, I'm going to connect from here to the bust point, the bust side, and I'm going to connect from the hip line to the waistline. So here I took out 3/4 of an inch. Here I have 1/2 of an inch. I have 1/2 of an inch. I have 1/2 of an inch. So that's what I used for my dart suppression. Now this is my back bodice pattern. It is ready. So if you have any question or anything you don't understand in this section, please drop it in the comment section and I promise to answer you. So now let's move to the front side.